right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, where we take your calls nightly. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. That's the number of the Bordas and Bordas hotline. You can also hit us up on Twitter at KDPomp, at the Pony Express. Andrew Fillipponi joins me right now from Fan Studios, where this broadcast also is simulcast. So if you want to drive along and make a phone call, feel free to do so. We'll take it for you tonight. Andrew, up at the Penguin game, a lot of empty seats there, which is becoming more of a trend these days for a lot of reasons. I think inflation has something to do with it. I think the fact that construction has to do with it. I think a Tuesday night and a sloppy day in Pittsburgh against the terrible Columbus team has something to do with it. But to me, this is still a very good product. They won again tonight. And, you know, Sidney Crosby's playing really some outstanding hockey. 2 more goals, 15, he goes to the net. It doesn't necessarily add up to me other than the prices. I get it. But your take on what you've seen or haven't seen from that point of view?
I thought it would be better. I thought when they retained Letang and Malkin in the offseason, the fans were going to show their appreciation. Maybe not every night for all 41 home games, but there have been times this year, matchups against teams like Vegas. Phil Kessel comes back to town, first place team. Toronto, which is usually a big draw. Matt Murray's in net for the first time against his former team. Carolina, a team that was picked to win the division in the offseason, comes in and, you know, there's maybe 15,000 people there. So I did think that there was going to be a sense of maybe thank you, the fans showing that the organization did right by them in the offseason. And, you know, maybe more than anything else, Bob, there's a little bit of fatigue in that, you know, fans have seen great regular season hockey for a really long time. And there is a little bit of, well, wake me up when the playoffs start with the Penguins. But the problem for that with me is you don't stop and smell the roses. You miss the journey, which when you have Sidney Crosby, one of the greatest players of all time, Malkin, Letang, the greatest defenseman in Penguins history once he gets back on the ice, you miss out on all those memories and all those moments. So, yeah, I'm with you. I thought it would be better. I know tickets are expensive, but I did think we'd see a better draw, a better attendance from the Penguins this season.
Yeah, and this group of guys over the course of their careers now have won 3 cups, have always been in the playoffs. Yeah, they don't always last long in the playoffs recently, but the fact is it's a pretty exciting product and still is, and so hopefully that will change. But there are a lot of hockey games. All right, the other big news of the night was the Pirates winning the lottery. So they win something. The question is there a generational talent in this group? I don't know if I see the answer to that, but they're going to get a good player just like they did when they got Henry Davis a couple of years ago. But they won it, and they had a 16% chance of winning it, so they do that. Perhaps it'll turn into something somewhat close to Sidney Crosby when the Penguins won. I doubt it. But your take on what this means for the franchise, other than it'll continue to stockpile talent in their system. But at some point, these guys have got to show up here and play here at a very high level.
First of all, terrible branding by Major League Baseball. I didn't even know that their draft lottery was tonight. And that should be something I'm interested in as a team that had a really good chance to win the lottery. And the fact that, you know, we have the Pirates games on the Fan. Like, how is it that this completely slipped under the radar?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, the NBA and even the NHL, they do a really good job of promoting their draft lotteries. This was the first one, and I had to find out about it on Twitter after it happened. So poor job by Major League Baseball with that. You know, I don't know about Henry Davis. I think early returns that was the wrong pick. Still a long way to go, but his first season in professional baseball, his first full season, did not go well, injury plagued, and when he did play, he didn't look like the best player in that draft crop. And as far as generational goes, you know, Garrett Cole, that draft, he wasn't looked at as a consensus #1 overall pick. There were guys like Trevor Bauer, other pitchers out there, Rendon, who helped the Nationals win a World Series. So I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, especially being so far out. You have the first pick. You should, in theory, get the best player, and if you don't, you should get a really, really good player. But, Bob, my sense is Pirates fans aren't as excited about this as they usually are because the Brian Reynolds news. They don't see a light at the end of the tunnel right now with this team.
No, I agree with that. It puts a damper on everything, and if your elite players are going to want more money and they don't get it and they're traded, I mean, it's just a cycle that keeps on cycling. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk about the Steelers, and Mike Tomlin had a pretty good press conference today, I thought. We'll get into that in your calls. 412-575-2600. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.